So here's a look at our lighting diagrams. For shot A, we use two light mats to key and fill the subject, each 3 feet and 5 inches above the ground and 4 feet from the subject. Behind the subject, you'll notice we have two lamps, one 3 feet above the ground and 5 feet and 2 inches from the subject, the other 2 feet and 8 inches above the ground and 4 feet from the subject. We also used a flag to cut off extra light that was coming into the scene, and that was placed 8 feet above the ground. For shot B, we used two Lowell 200s to key and fill the subject. The key was positioned 6 foot 5 inches above the ground and 7 foot from the subject. The fill was 3 foot above the ground and 5 foot away from the subject. To emulate some of the blue light coming in the scene, we had an RA1K with full CTB at 6 feet and 2 inches above the ground, flagged off, and then finally there was a lamp 2.5 feet behind the subject and 3.5 feet above the ground. For shot C, you'll notice that we have the same setup as shot A, but the camera was moved closer to the subject. And then again here in shot D, where we're getting a close-up of the teacup.
Welcome to the Scratch tutorial for Get Out. The first thing I did was work in the lift, gamma, and gain, primarily working in numerics, to try to match the original waveform of the clip, focusing especially on the skin tones, as you can see here. However, that darkened the background more than I'd like, so I added masks on both of the lamps, and again worked in numerics to try to match the luminance and color of the original lamps in the scene. Next, I noticed that there was a blue strip in the original clip, so I used a mask to replicate that and did that in numerics. The shirt in our clip was also a little bit bluer, so I added a mask and pulled out some of that blue. The background was also more blurred in the original clip, so I added two masks and used the defocus slider to try to replicate that a bit better. And then finally, just for fun, I tried to pull out some of the pink out of her hair to match the original color. I used a hue saturation luminance qualifier to target the pink in her hair, and then use numerics to sort of balance that out. And then finally, I forgot to name this one, but this was a sort of focus mask to help. We missed focus just a hair, so I used the defocus slider to sharpen that up a bit, and I think it worked fairly well overall. This shot was fairly similar, again starting in the lift, gamma, and gain, replicating the waveform, especially with the skin tone, and getting those sort of red and yellow midtones and cooler highlights. Then I focused on the lamp and replicated the luminance and color, and actually used a qualifier to try to take some of the effect off of her hair by targeting the brighter parts of the lamp, and then just mess with that in numerics. And then I did the same sort of effect to the hair, again pulling out the pink, and then darken the background a little bit just to match the original clip better. This shot was a lot simpler. It was just basic correction, working in lift, gamma, and gain, to get more of the sort of yellow, almost greenish sort of midtones, and then balancing it out in the highlights to bring that back to white. A similar correction was done on this shot, working in lift, gamma, and gain again, and then also there's a bit of hair, so I worked on that. there are two layers there, background balance. I tried to get the background dark like the original shot, but it just wasn't working. There were too many artifacts appearing on her arm. Here, I applied a mask to her shirt to take out, there's a bit of blue that wasn't present in the original clip, so a mask is added here, and then I just used numerics to pull out a bit of that blue. In this shot, I again, just pulling off everything that we have, worked in lift, gamma, and gain to try to replicate the original shot. You'll see with the gain, I actually bring it down quite a bit, but that's brought back up in the gamma, and also that's where I introduce sort of the reddish tones in the skin and just midtones overall. Here, I extended the light of the lamp to better match the original clip, and actually used a qualifier to target only the darker parts, or rather to avoid the lighter parts, because some of it was overlapping with the light that originally came from the lamp and was almost blowing out the parts that were already bright. And then finally, I used a qualifier to target all the blue in the scene and use hue shift to push that more towards green or sort of a cyan, because the blues in the original clip are more of a cyan or sort of greenish color. In this shot, a lot of the same things were done, maybe some minor tweaking, but it was the same overall. Here, again working in lift, gamma, and gain in a similar fashion to how it was done before. There we go, bringing some of that red into the midtones. Then a mask was added on the near side of the hand to bring some of that detail back that we were losing. And then finally, I actually brightened up the background, just the hair, to better replicate the original shot.
Tell me when you found it. Come here, Chris. Look at me.
Found it.
Where was your mom?
She was coming home. She wasn't home.
From work. And what did you do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I just sat there.
You didn't call anyone?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. I just thought that if I did, it'd make it real.
You're so scared. You think it was your fault? How do you feel now?
I can't move.
You can't move.
Why can't I move?
You're paralyzed. Just like that day when you did nothing. You did nothing. Now, sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.
Tell me when you found it. Chris, look at me. Where was your mom?
She was coming home. She wasn't home.
From work? And what did you do?
Nothing.
Nothing?
I just sat there.
You didn't call anyone?
No.
Why not?
No, I thought if I did, it'll make it real.
You're so scared. You think it was your fault? How do you feel now?
I can't move.
You can't move.
I cannot move.
You're paralyzed. Just like that day when you did nothing. You did nothing. Now, sink into the floor.
Wait.
Tell me when you found it. Come here, Chris. Look at me.
Found it.
Where was your mom?
She was coming home. And she wasn't home.
From work. And what did you do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I just sat there.
You didn't call anyone?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. I just thought that if I did, it'd make it real.
You're so scared. You think it was your fault? How do you feel now?
I can't move.
You can't move.
Why can't I move?
You're paralyzed. Just like that day when you did nothing. You did nothing. Now, sink into the floor.
Wait.
Sink.